welcome you back to another episode of Excel Formulas, Crash Excel Formulas course. And today we're going to be dealing with referencing. Actually, there are several ways of referencing data in Excel, and one we'll be dealing with today is the use of is the referencing of workbooks. So in this case, you need a special kind of notation for that. And today we're going to be talking about some possible errors with referencing and how you can break links, which are basically references to other workbooks outside your worksheet. So next, we'll also talk about another form of error that can occur with Excel, which has to do with when you are trying to alter a formula that has already been saved. So let's see how that goes. So imagine this. Imagine you wanted to enter a value in this cell and wanted it to be equal to a value reference from a cell. So we'll use this single quote or double quote. Then we would write the link to the cell. So in this case, we need to link the cell. So fortunately, I have the location. I can just paste it here. So this is the location for that particular file. So then I'll close that, and then I'll insert a exclamation mark. So this is how to reference another workbook. So basically, I'm trying to extract data from that particular workbook. So in this case, this is then the name of my file is book one. Book one. .xlsx. xlsx. That's the extension for Excel, just in case you don't. So then after that, I'm referencing. So I prematurely put a single quote. So I'll delete that. So, no, not that. The single quote is what I needed to do. So basically, I happen to have removed that. So next we have something else to do with. So I'll put the single quotes after that referencing. So that being done, the next thing to do is I will need to extract that data from the Excel worksheet. So the particular data that I want to copy is what I will extract. So I want to absolutely extract the cell G7. So I want to extract G7. So and that does it. Okay, let's see what happens if I click go. So now it's telling me there's a problem with this formula, not trying to type a formula. So basically, one thing is that I've actually forgotten to insert my exclamation mark. So let me put an exclamation mark here. So immediately after the quotation, we need an exclamation mark. So good, all good. So actually it is giving me a referencing error because it looks like I've made an error. Let me type it's trying to make me look for the file. So this is the folder I need it to be from. And then this is the book. So this is an example of errors you can come across with Excel. So in this error you have basically referenced, giving a wrong reference for the file. So obviously I just carelessly typed in a reference. So I can decide to copy that file, and it is going to paste that particular data. So basically, I'm not very good in file location in on Mac. So basically, it looks like I made an error in the URL. So those of you who are watching this video, you can actually comment and help me locate my error, just in case I've made an error somewhere. So, but this is basically the general format of basically general formula equals to, then you in quotes you subtract the URL in quotes, then after that you follow it with an exclamation mark, and then you give the data that you want to extract from that particular sheet, which is G7. So, and that is it. So if I go to that particular file, you actually see that data is actually G7. So this is the actual value of G7 over there. So this is, you can see that if I happen to change it to 8 now, G8, my data will update. So this is actually the data in G8. So the command Z to take it back to this cell. So this is one example of errors you can come across in Excel file. So let's go to another example of errors. So another example of errors is basically maybe you have typed data here. Let's just call this row A. Then let's call this B. So imagine that I left some space here and I inserted some values. 5. Okay, let me let Excel do your to complete for me. 6, 7. So let's see what Excel will do with that. Okay, not too good. Let's see. Okay, this drop down. Let's fill series instead. Okay, good. That's one of the intelligence of Excel. It can do some fill series. So I can also do the same thing here, fill series. So it follows the trend of the pattern. So in this case, let me use fill series. So this will be 6, and then taking it down again, fill series. No, that's not for, it's just for this cell. So I'm actually not inserting this. I'm not typing it manually. I'm using fill series. So and then it increments it by 1, which is the default value for fill series. So that being done now, we can. So the reason why this A and this B are not aligned is because by default values are left aligned, while their labels. Okay, rather labels are left aligned while their values are right aligned. So A and B, they are both labels. So we can actually change that. Yeah, we'll just go here and then let's make it center aligned. Center alignment. Let's see. So this center alignment now. So we can also change this default right alignment, but let's leave like that. It is just okay. So let me give an example of an error we can pass through here. So imagine we're actually given a total here, total, and our total, we want it to be equals to the sum of, equals to sum of everything here. So okay, rather sum of from this empty cell to something here. So let's type let's close the parentheses. Close parentheses. Typing equals to, it gives 40. But now let me try typing something here. So in some cases this could result in an error, but fortunately it didn't. So but to be on the safest side, it's better not to change any region of your formulas after you've actually calculated your formulas. So but if you wanted to type any data, better you type it before calculating the formulas. So that's a potential error. So you can see this label at the top of this cell. So that is telling us that we have the potential for an error here. So let's get it. Let's see what that is. So formulas reference to empty cell. So now this is an empty cell. So that is a formula error with empty cells. So you can decide to ignore the error, and that will disappear. But let's come on this, because that error is a potential error, as I mentioned earlier. So in this episode, I've talked about two errors with referencing of cells. We'll also talk about errors with that includes empty cells. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching.